Welcome back. It's Seth here. Today, I would like to discuss how your net worth starts to skyrocket after the $100,000 mark. One of the best investors ever lived, who was the vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett's right-hand man, Charlie Munger, once said, "The first 100,000 is a bitch. You gotta do it. I don't care what you have to do. If it means walking everywhere and not eating anything that wasn't purchased with a coupon, find a way to get your hands on $100,000. After that, you can ease off the gas a little bit." It's always hard getting to the first 100,000. And honestly, it seems almost near impossible, but you will get there. Once you get there, most individuals notice that their net worth just starts growing faster and faster. Where at first it seemed like your net worth was probably never going to grow. So for most people, there's two reasons why you feel like you struggle to get to your first $100,000. Before I discuss these two reasons, please hit the like button down below, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to help grow our channel. Now that you hit the like button, let's dive in. So the first reason why it feels like it's a struggle to get to your first $100,000 is because of lower income generation. If you're young or someone in early stages of a new career, you'll find that you're making significantly less than other people in the same industry. Every industry has a top end salary, an average salary, and the entry point salaries. And your income is going to vary industry to industry. Forbes has reported that the average national income in the US is $59,428. So there's a chance that you're probably making less than the national average income. So this means is that as your income is lower than the national average, you're probably not investing as much as you would like. So there will be a feeling of frustration if you're not making enough money out of the get-go in your new career. And it'll feel like your net worth is not growing because you're not able to put in enough. And now the second reason why it feels like the first 100,000 is impossible is due to the lack of compounding interest. If you compare an investment portfolio that is under $100,000 versus that's over $100,000, you see that the yearly returns make a big impact on the portfolio. I'll give you an example of what I mean. Let's say your portfolio is worth $10,000 and you get a 10% return for the year. You would have gained $1,000. Now let's compare that to a portfolio that's worth $100,000. With the same rate of return of 10%, you would have gained by the end of the year $10,000. So this really shows you that a $10,000 portfolio would have returned only $1,000 by the end of the year, whereas the $100,000 with the same rate of return would have returned you $10,000. Your net worth is growing 10 times the amount by just having a bigger portfolio. I would say imagine having a snowball, and you take the snowball and you roll it down a hill. As the snowball rolls down the hill, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's essentially what compound interest does to your investment. So now let's take a look at how your net worth starts to skyrocket. Let's say you invest $834 a month, so roughly $10,000 a year. And we'll say that we get a 10% return each year. From the chart, it shows that to get to the first $100,000 mark, it will take you around 7 years. I know you're thinking that 7 years is a long time to consistently invest each month, and with a 10% return, 7 years is a long, long time. And I get it, I understand your frustration. But now, this is where the magic starts. Now let's look at how long it takes you to get from $100,000 to the $200,000 mark. And you'll see from the chart that now it only takes you 4 years to get from $100,000 to $200,000, which is 3 years less than it took you to accumulate your first $100,000. And now let's look at how long it takes you from going from $200,000 to $300,000. From the chart, you'll see that it takes roughly around 3 years to gain another $100,000. That is almost less than half the time that it took you to get to your first $100,000. And during this time, we did not change the amount that we invest, and our rate of return has stayed the same. I really do think that most people don't understand the importance of compound interest, where some of the best investors just live by it. For example, like Warren Buffett. When Warren Buffett is asked how he was able to get so wealthy, he's given this one plain answer multiple times. That is that my wealth comes from a combination of living in America, some lucky genes, and compound interest. Also, if you look at Warren Buffett's wealth, the significant growth in Warren Buffett's portfolio really came after the age of 53. That's when you really see the compound interest kick in. So if one of the best investors ever lived in the world credits his success to compound interest, then it's really important that we are taking full advantage of this compound interest. So now I know some of you guys are wondering, how do we get to this first 100,000 as quick as possible? The first thing that I would do is live below your means. Every dollar under 100,000 really matters. This is where I justify making big and even small sacrifices. I personally would delay big lavish vacations, lavish dinners, and honestly avoid even buying expensive coffee. I know that some of you guys might think that's extreme, but we have to do everything we can to get to the first $100,000 mark. Also, I really recommend budgeting. This is something that I've said time and time over again, but budgeting is really important. This way, it ensures that you're not spending more money than you really need to, and you'll be able to see where your money is actually going. So if there's other expenses that you don't really need, you can cut them out accordingly. The second thing I would do is save and invest consistently. I know this sounds pretty simple and straightforward, but for most, it's really not. Usually, people tend to overspend, and by the end of the month, they don't have enough to invest. This is why, in my first point, when I talk about budgeting, it's really important because if you're able to budget, most likely you'll have money left over at the end of the month to invest. Also, one trick that I personally use, it's called the pay yourself method first. This is when you receive a paycheck, you move the money you want to invest right away. Once the money's moved into your investment account and invested, you cannot move that money until you sell that investment. This way, it ensures that you're able to invest no matter what happens. Here, our goal is to take full advantage of that compounding interest. And the last thing I would focus on is trying to increase your income. The first most common and easy way to increase your income is by getting a promotion at your job or finding another job that pays you more for what you do. If that means you need to acquire another skill set to help you get that promotion or better job, that is an investment in yourself and you'll make a lot more money in the long run. So it's definitely worth getting that extra skill for your job. Also, there's other ways you can increase your income. You can get a second part-time job that'll give you extra cash to help you invest more, or you can create other small side hustles, such as selling services to an individual, selling products online, or if you're good with social media, you can create content and make money from that. To be honest, a side hustle can be anything. As long as there's a demand, you can make money from it. Overall, it's really important that you push to get to your first 100,000 as soon as possible. Once you hit this goal, you will literally watch your net worth skyrocket. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys learned something new and that you're motivated to invest and save more. Stay tuned for future videos, and until next time, remember to keep investing.